Hey guys, so I wanted to finally do another Johanna guide. This is probably going to be by getting the Grandmasters with Johanna. And yes, this is not a ranked game. My main reason is because I want to focus on explaining this as I go, getting in the mind of what I'm thinking about, and talking about the different builds. So at the end of this video, I'm going to talk about the builds that I would do, but for the start of this, I'm just going to explain my talent choices as I go through. I'm going to be going the E build, which is what I call the Waveclear build. So level 1, there's no specific talent to get for this. Instead, what I like to do is I like to pick talents based off of what I need. If they have heavy poke damage, I will usually go for Laws of Hope to survive their poke, and then if they have a lot of CC, I go with Hold Your Ground so I can use that more often. In this case, I'm going Laws of Hope. Between Hanzo and Gul'dan, they have a lot of poke damage, and I want to make sure that I can take that for the team, as well as be able to play a little bit more aggressive in these bushes. The first thing that I like to do is I like to scoop up the minions, get some damage off on them, so that our team can take them out. I'm going to pop a Laws of Hope early, and I'm going to grab the globe, and then I'm going to back off. Now we've applied a lot of pressure in this lane, and it's very easy for us to rotate to another lane. Let's send off the solo to top, and I'm going to head down to bot lane to get that soak. Looks like Thrall's going to head up there. I don't even need to say a thing. I probably should bring my chat back down. I had a game earlier that it was actually worth literally hiding my chat. Not even kidding. It was that bad, guys. So then the next thing that I want to do is we're already soaking this lane. I don't have a lot of wave clear until a little bit later. Until about 4 is when I get a decent chunk of wave clear. So in the early game, I'm literally just going to be trying to hold my own and popping Laws of Hope every time it's off cooldown that I need any health at all, just to make sure that I've got all of that. I'm going to bring these a little bit closer as I can just auto attack one of these each time. And then I can kind of move on. So you can see I'm playing aggressive, but I'm not taking any free damage. My goal here is to just kind of deal some damage to these and then back off. Get some auto attacks off where I can. Once again, just a couple auto attacks. I should be with my team, but honestly, right now, I'm focusing primarily on soak. I don't really care if we die a few times because soak is so much more valuable than anything else, but it is kind of a even team fight at the moment. I can get the fountain right now, but I won't have the fountain for the first objective because the fountain takes 2 minutes to get back and the objective spawns in 1 minute. Sorry, I got attacked by ninjas. Yeah. Got a bit of a cough there. Might edit that out. I'm not really sure. So level 4, I get Sins Exposed. This is part of the E build. This allows you to actually wave clear. You do Sins Exposed, you do a W, a Q, and you can clear up a wave in seconds. And now is when I'm going to start actually double soaking. I'm going to see if I can get on... Oh, man, I wasn't able to get on this. We can't fight under this because they get the spell armor. So we need to deal with this quickly. They got a lot of camps right before objective spawn, and that was pretty much an issue for us. It's going to be really difficult to deal with this. I'm going to just use this, see if I can clear these up, but unfortunately, because of the spell armor, this is going to be really rough. I'm going to have to join the team and ignore the camps for a second. See if we can possibly get a kill. I'm going to get my my Sins Exposed on the lower health targets, and I'm going to start zoning immediately. I want to make sure to zone for my team. I'm going to use my Laws of Hope, see if we can do that. And I should have zoned long enough. Yeah, zoned long enough, we won the objective. Now we need to clear these camps quick. So let's try this out. Let's see if we can clear these. I will work on the bot with one person. Rainer's working on the mid. Once again, just going to pop a Sins Exposed and right on that. When I say Sins Exposed, I'm talking about my level 4 talent that increases the damage the next hit by 114, including my own. It says anytime an ally damages it, but works with yourself too. This is why I call it the wave clear build, because you actually can do a lot of wave clear very, very quickly. And on a map that you can double soak, this one's a little bit large to double soak, but on a map that you can double soak, it's extremely important to be able to do to blow up waves very quickly. Even on a larger map like this, the faster you can blow up waves, the more impressive the game is anyways. So once again, we're going to see this. Use this. I'm going to pull them all together, and boom, wave cleared. So that's what you want to be doing. You want to go wave to wave doing this. Now, I get Blessed Momentum. As this is a blind-based build, everything focuses on a single ability. So we want to make sure that we have this single ability off cooldown as long as possible. I'm going to pop a Laws of Hope immediately, so I have it again during the team fight. We are going to go straight into this, and then we're going to back up. I want to make sure that I can get out of this. I'm going to just blind so I don't take the auto attack damage, but I'm not using it for my damage. I have my fountain available, so I can come back into this fight, and I'll have Laws of Hope in about 20 seconds. So my goal here is to just get right back on these and possibly blind onto someone, get some damage off, see if we can get a kill here. 1 Q or maybe a W kills? Nice. So W gets the kill. Now I'm just going to back off. Looks like we're actually losing this, so yeah. So I'm just going to go straight back to Waveclear. Okay. Focus a little bit more on peeling if I want to. I was just worried because every time I was going in trying to interrupt the point. So here we're going to have to do this a little bit weird. I can't defend against that, so I'm just going to have to go up top and deal with this. But generally it's going to be a little bit challenging for me. So a lot of, again, most of what I'm focusing on is just wave clear, guys. Like you don't see me worrying about too much other than just wave clear. So I'm using Laws of Hope to keep my health high, and I'm focusing heavily on wave clear. Looks like they've got mid lane for now, so I'm going to go up. I'm going to get one more wave here. It's kind of tough when you're matching someone else who has a lot of wave clear. But as you can see, I'm just killing off a couple things, and I'm going to go. And I can clear off a wave, and the higher level I get to, the faster I'll be able to blow up waves, so it'll be a lot easier for me to double soak. For example, like I can blow up this wave, and then I can head right back top again because I have a little bit of help. So I'm going to go back up. I'm going to get one more wave top. Hold on. I've got someone that I was watching just hosted someone else. So now what's going to happen here is they're going to hit 10s first. So that's why I'm trying to get an extra soak. And the great part about this wave, I'm going to mount up as that last minion's dying. The great part about that is they're going to miss an entire wave of soak up there. So we're going to end up getting an experience advantage, and we will have to give this up. But unfortunately, we didn't really have a choice because they were 10s first. So my worry about it was I didn't want to give them kills and an objective. I'm just going to do a Laws of Hope. I'm going to ignore the Gul'dan because I really just want to clear that. And because there's a wave here, I'm going to have to... We need to stop fighting. We're not 10s. And this is something I should be typing. And again, when I'm talking to everyone, it's kind of hard for me to do this. I'm going to mount up as these minions are dying. Oh, and I ended it too early. And I'm going to still give that to them. As you see my EXP contribution, my siege damage, everything like that, I'm really far ahead. And it's allowing me to really push this... the fact that they won that objective and got a lot of kills during it, yet we kept up on experience. So they got 3 kills that fight, 4 kills that fight, and yet we were able to keep up on experience because I was just double soaking and making sure that we were still getting those. So that's really what we needed to do, is just I made sure that we stayed up on experience. I didn't want to fight when we were down level 10s. So now I'm back into this, and I'm going to get right in here. I'm getting some free damage off. I'm just getting my Laws of Hope, making sure that I'm not losing too much. Now that these are going to kill these minions, I could even step up a little bit further. I'm going to go up, pull everything together, and I'm just going to get them a little bit closer. And one of the big things about this is, like, when people say, oh, we're fighting, I don't like fighting over nothing, and I don't like fighting down levels. So that's why I'm focusing primarily on double soaking, and this is actually something that you can do in low ranks and get really far ahead. Because one of the major aspects of this is in the early game, waves are worth more than kills. So if you can cause the enemies to lose out on a wave or 2 of experience, then you're going to get really far ahead. Once again, I'm going to try to just push this out so that they're missing soak. Look at this whole wave. They're missing 2 full waves. So now they're missing 2 waves of experience. We're going to be able to get this objective, and we're going to come out ahead in experience despite the fact that this early game has been really janky. And they're really split off right now. But this is going to be really hard without actually winning a fight here. I'm just going to ult immediately. I don't know if we're going to be able to save this Rainer. Nope. This fight's already looking pretty bad, so I'm just going to leave. Unfortunately, again, you don't want to lose an objective and lose more than an objective. That's why, like, I try to make sure that I'm getting a consolation prize every time. Like, my consolation prize is is literally just getting the camps and the soak. So we need to make sure this fight was really awkward in general. The main reason why I didn't like this fight was because they could poke from every direction. So while we kept trying to get the point, we weren't actually killing anyone. And so I just tried to peel off of everyone, and unfortunately I can't peel from every direction. So it was a really rough one. We shouldn't have lost the earlier ones, but we keep dying way too much, so it gets really, really difficult. I'm just going to keep auto-attacking to lower my cooldowns much faster. And I'm just going to pop a trait so I don't need to back up. So again, just trying to lower my cooldowns as fast as possible. I'm probably going to have to go up top, but I want to get one wave here. So I'm going to just simply do this, clear it, and then as I'm mounting, we're going to be killing the rest of those minions. I get Blessed Hammers at this level. Again, my whole build's off of getting E off on as many targets as possible. So I'm going to keep getting my E off on more targets, and I'm going to be getting my Blessed Hammers back even faster. I'm going to just ult here so that I can save the Thrall, and I'm going to pull him back in and slow him. But generally, I don't actually want to fight this. I'm going to pick up a fountain, and I'm going to go up top, make sure that we don't lose a keep out of this first objective. I'm going to pop my Blessed Hammers, then I'm going to pop this. I'm going to go in, I'm going to slow, and I have my Blessed Hammers back up, and a Laws of Hope. This is not a bad fight for us, actually. I'm going to slow them. I'm going to pop that, and back to seeing if I can get another Blessed Hammers off. Can't get the slow, but we did at least get a decent team fight right there. I'm going to be able to pull right in to interrupt her heal. Back to a Blessed Hammers, back to this, and then I'm going to slow again, and there we go. This is how you really take fights with Johanna. You just want to make sure that they are fights that you can actually win. And I've been making sure that we've only been taking those fights. I mean, me personally. As we get further into the game, double soaking is less important to do alone, and it's much, much more important to stay with your group. So in the early game, you saw that I was playing away from my group a lot and just making sure that I was double soaking when there weren't objectives up, and then when there were objectives up, I was only double soaking when we were down important talent tiers. So my mentality is going to change a lot now as we get past level 16, as I'm going to focus more on being with the team, and I'm going to focus more on making sure that we're getting as much value out as possible. So I'm going to let them clear up that, and I'm going to go clear bot, and then I'm going to join them at the objective. Positioning so your E hits the majority of the minions is also extremely important, as it allows you to just wipe out minions like that as long as you hit everything. So you're going to want to keep doing this. Yet, that's the other thing about double soaking is that it does get faster as you get higher level. So it's something that, like, while you don't want to do it as often the higher you go, you will want to, you'll get better at it. So I'm going to see if I can channel or like move most of these minions over so that someone could channel on the other area. I'm going to pop this, get this in there, and I'm going to immediately peel the Sonya from the enemies, and I'm just going to immediately follow his ult with my ult. Now we can get a couple kills, and this team fight seems to work out pretty well. I don't know exactly how we're dying, though. Either way, let's clear this up really quick. This is going to take me a little while, so I'm just going to use my abilities. All right, there we go. So, and I cleared the 2 waves bot, so you can see they're also costing them another wave of soak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cost them another wave of soak by pushing one more. So once again, every time I'm pushing, I'm just going back and forth, and I'm costing them soak every single time. If you see the experience contributed, I'm at 13,000. Despite the fact that we were down on kills almost this entire time, and I wasn't really, we're still down on structures. So I'm keeping up with the enemies down on structures, despite the fact that that I'm just the tank. So I'm not using any abilities here because I want to use them on this wave right here. So once again, pulling them all together, and clearing them very quickly. And I'm going to back. I want to be here in time for the objective, and I want to be full health and full mana. I don't want to make the mistake of being at an objective without having the tools needed to actually win this objective. A lot of people will make that mistake, and they won't back when objectives are spawning, and then they'll get here, they'll have no mana or health, and they'll be in a lot of trouble. So now I'm getting in here. We've got waves pushing in multiple lanes. We've got a great positioned objective for us. So I'm going to collect the minions over here. I'm going to let them channel on that side. And this should be a free objective for us. Oh, that's unfortunate. I just use my ult to guarantee that kill, and we'll send someone off to go get that. I'm going to pop my Laws of Hope immediately, and I'm going to see if I can join my team down here. Gonna just blind her so she doesn't get that extra thing, and she might lose it if she has her level 16 talent. Nice. So we got the objective, we didn't lose anyone, and we killed the Gul'dan. So despite the fact that they were getting mad at me in the early game for ignoring things, I've been keeping our team up on experience this entire time, and I just ignored it. A lot of people always ask me, they're like, oh, but what if your team's raging at you? Don't worry about it. Play what's right first, all right? Do the right thing. Don't worry so much about teams getting mad at you. There's no reason to like fret about it. As long as you're doing what's right, you're gonna come out ahead in terms of experience and everything else. So that's essentially what I did this game. I just played what was the correct move, and that's it. So I'm going to pop my Blessed Hammers one more time before I use my E. I want to make sure that I'm getting the CDR, the full CDR off of this. So I'm popping my Blessed Hammers. I'm going to let the cooldown run a little bit, waiting for a good opportunity. I'm simply just going to blind her because she does have some... her healing's dependent on that. I tried to pull him back into the stun, but it didn't work out. I'm just going to seriously focus on just getting this. I'm going to ult him so we can kill him. I use my ult as a follow-up a lot of times to make sure that we guarantee a kill. And now we have a keep and they don't. Let's steal this camp really quick. And we're level 20. When people are diving my backline in the E build, I like to go blinded by light. Now, most pro players would say this is not the talent to go, but in QM, people in Hero League and all that, people will play a little bit crazier, so I like getting blinded by the light. This allows me to shield my team, and I can protect them from dives. This also kind of turns you into a little bit of a piano build because there's a lot of buttons to press, but in general, I still really like this. It just feels like it's one of the better options. I'm just going to pop my Blessed Hammers for the extra siege damage, and if he walks back up, I'm going to get that. I like getting globes for my team. Just even if we don't really need the health, it's nice to have that healing over time in case we get poked. So generally, we're just going to keep applying pressure in multiple lanes and try to pick them out in different team fights if we can. I'd like to maybe kill her, or at least burn her leap. Burning her leap would be really big right now. There it is. Awesome. We just got a great advantage there. It's a 70-second cooldown that we burned for nothing. Let's go just take some structures up here. And I'll even proxy one lane. See if we can just take this out. Oh, we don't even need to proxy the lane. I'd like to hold pressure over their lanes if we can, but the camp doesn't spawn for a little bit. This first tribute should be ours for free. I'm going to push up here. Again, I want to just keep pressuring. Oh, it looks like we're actually going for something, so... I don't know. This is actually kind of sketchy. Let's just get the trib. The trib's free. And we're winning team fights now anyways, so I'm not too worried. The only thing that I'm a little worried about is them getting a really, really good Horrify. Once again, I'm going to pop my Laws of Hope. These actually do a lot of damage, and I'm just going to kind of zone out. Nice. Let's get this. I'm going to wait until the spell armor is gone, and then I'm going to use my abilities, which I did not do that, so that was bad, but not like game-ending bad, just a little off. We pretty much have full control over the map, and we can just continue having control over the map. I'm going to blow up this entire wave, or Mephisto's going to do it. I kind of want to push with the top camp. Yeah, this is going to be really good for us. So he can keep doing that camp. I'm going to start doing this camp. I could be using my Blessed Hammers to speed this up. I'm not going to. I'm just going to pop my Laws of Hope. Again, Laws of Hope's just your easiest healing method for yourself, and it usually gets up very quickly. They are giving this one. So I actually just want to leave, like, maybe I will grab these guys, and then I'm going to let them channel. We got it. Nice. Ooh, this is a little questionable. I want to make sure that we can get to our team if we can. Is there any ults we can use to save them? No. I'm going to pop my... oh, man, this is a really bad fight. Let's get out of this. Wait, we did get a kill there, though. Can we fight this? No, this is bad. I'm going to pop my trait so I don't get stunned. I'm going to just pop this. Yeah, unfortunately, the hooks are always tough. Hook gorges are something that you can't always deal with. I don't like clearing this wave too much because the enemies are missing and they have more people than we do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear it very, very quickly. And then I'm going to get out because I don't like being in this position. That's the biggest thing, is I want them to go top to deal with that. And we have Katas pushing, but I need to be very cautious about this. I'm going to pop Laws of Hope to get myself back up in terms of health. And I'm just going to kind of hang out. We definitely need this objective. Just going to slow. I can't interrupt everything, but I'm going to use my ult to interrupt. And because this could be a really good fight for us. If it gets any closer, there we go. There's my shield. So now I've got a nice shield for him. I'm about to get Laws of Hope back too. So as long as I can peel, there's my Laws of Hope. And there's Leap. And she's going to be able to get this. That gets us the objective. And Thrall just opens so much space for our team. This is it. We just go mid and we win with this. I'm going to pop this. And then I'm going to pop this. And then I'm going to pop this. And by this, the hammer, the pull in, the slow, and then to get my hammers off cooldown again. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We go straight for the core. And we ignore everything else. So that's what I was talking about, guys. No deaths. My experience contribution was a lot higher than anyone on either of the team. And this guy should be dead. Nice. We go right in here. So that is how you want to be playing Johanna. You double soak so that your team doesn't need to. They can focus on camps. They can focus on anything else. When you start getting into objectives, be with your team at all the objectives. The only time you don't want to be with your team is when it's a guaranteed loss at the objective. Like what I said, we were 9 to 10. I wanted to soak. I should have been VPing. I should have been communicating, but I was talking to you guys, and that's really where I was focusing on that, which made this be a little bit harder than it normally would be if I could have communicated with my team. MVP is very easy to get on Johanna. You tend to beat everything in siege damage and EXP contribution. Your hero damage tends to be pretty decent. And it's just one of those things that it happens. I'll vote for the Mephisto. You just have to deal with it. Yes, there are times where people don't understand what you're doing. There are times where So there are times you need to be doing things that don't seem like the things you should be doing. But in terms of damage taken, I still was there for the majority of the same fights that Stitches was there. I still was participating in the majority of the fights that we actually could win. I just avoided the fights that we couldn't win, that we were down on talent tiers. But otherwise, I just made sure that I was double soaking and not taking unnecessary fights. And I kept our experience up despite the fact that we were down on structures for the majority of that game. Then we started coming back, and that's the initial build. So let me talk about the other builds that are very common for that I used anyways with Johanna when I was playing her for to get to Grandmasters. So to me, there are two builds. Level 1 is very situational. You decide to build, again, I explained it, Laws of Hope if they have a lot of poke, hold your ground if they don't. I sometimes will also pick Laws of Hope if our healing's pretty low. Say we have like a Rhaegar healer. Level 4. There are two builds, all right? One build is the Waveclear build and slash the blind build. Sins exposed into Blessed Momentum, so you can get more heals off. You can get more bonus damage, you can get more healing off, and you can get more hammers out. So Blessed Momentum is very important. Level 13, Blessed Hammer. You're going to be getting your blinds on as many people as possible for the Sins exposed and for the Holy Renewal. So you're going to be getting pretty much free Blessed Hammers over and over and over. It's extra damage, as well as it allows you to interrupt things in case you need to interrupt something. Like when I used an ult to interrupt, if I would have had Blessed Hammers up, I could have used that to interrupt instead. It goes in the same pattern every time, so it can be predictable, and you can move it around to make sure that you land the interrupts. I've done it several times. Level 16, you're going to be picking up Holy Renewal. And level 10, it's always Blessed Shield. It's fast, you don't need to worry about things, and it's not predictable. You don't know when someone's going to use a Blessed Shield, and it's so sudden, and the first person you hit is a huge stun, 1.5 seconds instantly. Nearly everyone that I used Blessed Shield on, except for that one interrupt and that one time that I was using it to peel, was an instant kill. Like, I pulled him in, we slowed him, someone stunned him, and then I was just like, boom, stun to follow up. Every time I saw Gul'dan out of position, guaranteed kill because of Blessed Shield. However, Falling Sword's tough because it's not as fast. If that Gul'dan was out of position, and I used my pull-in and I used my Q and then I did Falling Sword, all he has to do, he has so much time to get near his healer for his healer to save him. But with Blessed Shield, there's no time. It's so fast, so I always go Blessed Shield. 13, Blessed. 16, I go the Holy Renewal. Again, I'm already trying to hit as many targets as possible, so I use that to heal myself and stay alive longer in team fights. Level 20, if people are diving on my backline, I go Blinded by the Light. It allows me to give a 25% health shield to everyone there, and its cooldown is lowered the more I'm using my E. I go Indestructible if they're just kind of hitting me and getting a lot of damage off on me. On to the other build. So I call that the Waveclear build or the Blind build. My next build, I call the Scoop and Kill build, all right? Scoop and kill. So level 1, same rules apply. Hold your ground, Laws of Hope. Level 4, Conviction. This is your scoop, all right? Your Conviction increases your movement speed while you're using your W, meaning if you're attacking people who are not mounted, which you could dismount them by using your E, you will move faster than everyone, and it makes it to where you can scoop their entire team or just whatever target you need to scoop up whenever you want to scoop them up. Now, the only times I use the, I'll explain the full scoop and kill build, and then I'll explain when I pick each build. So this is your scoop. You need this talent. It's a must, all right? Level 7, I go Subdue. If you scoop 2 targets, they get an 80% slow. That's how you get the kill, all right? Scoop and kill. So you scoop them up with your W. You kill them by giving a giant slow with your Q, all right? This is game ending. Level 10, same thing, Blessed Shield. When your slow starts ending, you toss that slow on, you toss that shield on them, boom. Now that you've slowed them for 2 seconds at 80%, now they're stunned for 1.5 seconds. It's huge. Level 13, Roar. This thing does so much damage. Your punish does 25% more damage. The bonus is increased to 150% when punish hits 2 targets, which you're going to try to hit 2 targets so you can get Subdue going. I don't care about completing this quest, just hitting the 2 every time. If you complete it, cool. Roar is a surprising amount of damage. Level 16, Roar does like 600 damage, and nearing the late game, you're doing like 800 damage with it. So being able to scoop everyone up and just do like 800 damage is huge. You're always blowing people up. So that's why, again, scoop and kill. That's what this build is about. Level 16, it's up to you. But I oftentimes like getting either Fanaticism or Imposing Presence, purely because Imposing Presence, you get an extra slow that you can proc whenever you want to, because you can pop this and slow for 20% for another 2.5 seconds. It also helps against people with high attack speed. So high attack speed, go with that. Mages, you'll go with this, and sometimes if you're going against mages, you go Hold Your Ground, so you'll be able to move really fast, making your scoop even more effective. But generally, Imposing Presence is really good and hard to pass up. Level 20, always Indestructible in this build. 110% you always go Indestructible. If you're going to be scooping people and killing them, you're going to be the first one in there every time, taking a lot of damage. You want to make sure that you can stay in those fights as long as possible. So, when should you be going the E Waveclear build? When should you be going the Scoop build? 2-lane maps, I always go Scoop build. Battlefield of Eternity, Hanamura, Braxis Holdout, I always go the Scoop build, all right? If I'm on a map that I can double soak, I always go Waveclear build, always. And then there's a couple maps where it's a little long to it's a little too wide, like Cursed Hollow gets really big, it's hard to double soak. I sometimes will change the scoop, but most of the time I'll still go with the Waveclear build. Hopefully this helped you out, guys. This is the hero I played to get to Grandmasters with. Pretty much this season let me remove Quick Match from that. Johanna, 80% win rate. Last season, let me remove unranked as well, sorry. Last season, Johanna, 71% win rate, 10 wins, 4 losses. She is the main tank that I use to hit Grandmaster with, and when I use her in lower ranks, this amount of Waveclear you bring in is so easy to carry with. She's extremely powerful, and she's one of my favorite tanks because I can play her kind of like a support where I can give shields and stuff to my team. But I wanted to share something in particular with her this season. My KDA is 14. That means on average I get 14 assists or kills for every death. And you saw how I played. Like, in team fights, I was pretty aggressive. I was getting in people's faces. I was taking skill shots for my team. But generally, you can just get so much so easily that she's just so powerful. So this is how I play Johanna when I'm trying to get to Grandmasters. It's a lot of just kind of getting in there, getting out, getting in there, getting out, while getting a lot of double soaking. Make sure that you're with your team for objectives. But otherwise, double soak. Make sure that you're getting all that extra soak. That's what I did. When you get into higher ranks, I have some more advanced tips. It's kind of hard to get into it, but don't take a lot of unnecessary damage. If you saw, I had less hero damage taken than the enemy tank, despite the fact that I won, and I felt like I was dominating. And the reason for that is purely because I go in and out, and I don't just stay in a fight forever. I go in, I use my abilities, and then I get a couple auto attacks off if they're safe to get off to get blessed momentum. If not, I'm out of that fight. And I never stay in these fights too long. So being able to be in and out, only go in when you're scary and then get out when you're not scary. When you don't have any abilities to use. That's the best things. There's a lot of advanced techniques. That's what I love about Johanna. She's very easy to get into, and yet she has so many nuanced things that make her really powerful. So thank you all for watching, and hopefully this helped you with your Johanna play.